Emmanuel, God with us. There's a lot riding on that little word with. Exactly what does with mean? The Hebrew scriptures describe God being with the first people, walking with them in the garden in the cool of the night. Later, God was with the Israelites in many forms as they escaped Egypt and navigated their way through the desert. He was there in a pillar of fire and in a pillar of cloud. And then God was present with them in the tabernacle, that portable tent where heaven and earth met in the middle of the wilderness. Eventually, Solomon built and dedicated the gorgeous temple for God. And scripture says that God descended in Shekinah, or this glory that filled the space. It was so thick, it actually inhibited the priests from going in. What was this presence like? We actually don't know. We just know that it was palpable and visible and material. It was also intermittent. And then Christmas. And speaking of material, have you ever witnessed a birth, live or on video or a documentary or in your own body? It's messy, it's painful, it's exhausting, it's noisy and often frantic. Women say things they don't really mean. It's not the kind of image that we want on our Christmas cards, is it? Mary, usually perfectly composed and looking serene, sitting up or on her knees in worship over the Christ child, always attentive to baby Jesus and the guests who are arriving, unannounced and without casseroles. Ancient art and icons are even more sanitized, depicting Mary and chubby baby Jesus as smiling and haloed. No disheveled hair, no bags under her eyes. Fair enough. This is a sacred and holy night. God was bursting forth into creation, and there's a reverence that Christianity has wanted to preserve. And yet, isn't the point of the incarnation that God took on our full humanity, the mess and the bodily fluids and all of that? That God is with us in an irreversible, material, and very embodied way. That God so loved the world that he became part of it, and God placed the divine stamp of approval on it, demonstrating the dignity and the destiny that is ours. God appeared, and the soul felt its worth. And Christmas celebrates the embodiment of God in human flesh and through human flesh. Emmanuel, God with us. And as you ponder the meaning and the impact of that today, may you fall on your knees in worship. May you feel the thrill of hope and maybe, just maybe, hear the angel voices and the laughter of your family and friends. Today, may your homes be filled with the wonder of God with us in all of our mess and unfinishedness. Merry Christmas, Lakeside.